Now the first one to eat all 5 wins, or whoever eats the most burgers under 3 minutes. Okay, so it's either or. Whoever finishes first, or whoever finishes the most under 3 minutes. We're going to get the stop timer going in the back here, back of the scene, start timer. And I'm going to count from 5 all the way down to 0. And that will be when the game commences. Are you ready? Yeah! Okay. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go! Cheeseburgers!
Check this out.
Oh! We got the double whammy.
He stacked them.
Pretty darn good.
He's doing like a fun wrapping wrong. Do not joke. That looks so disgusting.
Welcome to the Brooks McDonald's mukbang. Like and subscribe.
Nobody's gonna choke us. Nobody's gonna choke.
I gotta walk in here.
I told you, this guy's gonna win. My money's on Chris.
Look at this. He's quietly giving it up.
Logan go with the aggressive stack.
Looking good, looking good. Brandon's on his second cheeseburger. We've got a few hitting their third. Chris is polishing off his second burger.
He's in the lead here.
You're pretty even. Pretty even across the board.
I hate pickles. Pickles are so gross.
That doesn't count as you pass.
Yeah, no one finishes.
Now, it didn't hurt. Brown's in the full study approach here. Focus.
Go, Logan.
Sure, yeah, we should add some like, yeah.
Yeah, I need some eye juice.
Oh, Sawyer's gonna win this.
Oh my God, no.
1
minute remaining. 1 minute.
Come on, Sawyer.
Come on, sir.
So last place is making a $50 donation, right?
$50 donation.
Let's go, Sawyer. Let's go, Sawyer. Yeah, Sawyer. He's gonna win. He might finish. It's gonna be a tight
Hurry, you gotta hurry. No, I got a triple stack.
Oh my God.
Oh, she should be here.
Wash it down with some water, Sawyer.
I'm not gonna grab.
Of course, we are watching an old burger eating contest. Brandon Houck was part of there a few months back in Brooks, Alberta. That looks like McDonald's there. Didn't do very well.
Oh, no. What if I got it in my mouth?
Hurry up, you gotta go to sleep. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
And we're here. Welcome to the show, everybody. I'm Joey Only, your host. And yes, I just needed some place filler there to bide some time so that I could set up the show, right? So looks like this tornado warning or watches have just been dropped in Northern Ontario. So no, tornado watches are still on. Severe thunderstorm warning has been dropped. So let's have a look at what's going on right now. This is your show about how much the weather sucks in Canada. That is true. I'm your host, Joey Only here, Caribbean Weather Dude YouTube channel. And the panel of Comedeorologists will all be here very shortly, I am sure. As generally is the case, we don't have much of a plan. Everyone just sort of shows up when they do. And this is the pre-show, actually. This is the show before the show. The actual show we record at 7 p.m. So that goes on to TV and radio stations. We'll tell you more about that in a little bit. So please hit like, share, and subscribe. Leave a thing down there leave a comment there, and we'll try to answer it when we can. Yes, so tornado watch still continues for Northern Ontario. A very dangerous, potentially life-threatening situation. Tornado watches are issued when atmospheric conditions are favorable. Here comes Houck. When I lost the thing because I had to click Hauk. Tornado watches are issued when atmospheric conditions are favorable for the development of thunderstorms that could produce tornadoes. So conditions are developed. Toonie-sized hail was reported in the one severe storm. So it looks like some of these are calming down a little, but not greatly. I mean, these are some very, very aggressive thunderstorms, and they've been slowly moving across the province this afternoon. Not getting a good view on Thunder Bay radar right now. Slowly moving out of Manitoba up to Cat Lake now, Slate Falls. About 2 hours ago or more, it was 3 hours ago, it was in Dryden. So it's making its way across the province pretty quickly, this line. And it's had a number of storms pop up in front of it as it goes, right? So, and down in Minnesota there's been tornado warnings at times and things like that today. So right now, nothing on the board for that. But what do we have here for mesoscale discussion? Oh, something down there in Florida. We'll be talking about this stuff actually in a little bit. Some rain, heavy rainfall hitting down there in there's another section of that same larger system moving towards Milwaukee, slowly making its way up there into Wisconsin. But we'll get away from Lake Michigan. Here's what I was looking for.
Damn it.
Hey, Brandon. Tornado watch 678 continues there just south of the border on Lake Superior side. Storms have largely been supercellular with weakening observed over the last hour. Storms are still within a region of ML Cape, 1,000 joules kilograms, maybe responding to loss of daytime. Oh, we lost Hauk, and now here comes Hauk back again. Interesting. Okay. Maybe responding to loss of daytime heating. So it's not daytime anymore there, but the thunderstorms continue. Maybe not quite as much.
That's why their camera.
Feeding them.
Jesus Christ.
Are you there, bud?
Hold on.
Let's go.
Oh, my cameras. Okay, hold on. I need to close.
There's your face. Nice.
There, I had to close StreamYard. I forgot to do that. That's why I was like, my camera's not working. Why is that? Yeah, and coming back in and out. And I was like, why no camera? Why? Oh, I left my StreamYard on from my video from 2 hours ago.
That reminds me to lower the volume of my TV now because I can hear your mic so great. You have such a great microphone. And now I've been trying to emulate that. How does my mic sound? Do I sound good?
Oh, yes.
Right on.
Yeah, you sound like a radio host.
About friggin' time. Yeah, well, I got the soundboard set up here, and I can do a lot of things with it. I can actually record an album onto this thing if I wanted to. Like it's got tracking capabilities. It's the Zoom L12. Here I can show you this.
Oh yeah.
Here. Yeah,
that's nice little board there. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm a musician, right? So it's not just that I want to make radio as well, but I needed something that could do everything, right? So this should, just to have a mic that can plug into the computer is one thing, but I needed to be able to, what if I wanted to be able to record drums or bass guitars or things? I have a lot to work out to get down that sort of thing, but I've at least experimented with getting sound from it to the computer with, numerous different instruments this week and muddled about. Okay, yeah. So supercells capable of instance of large hail and perhaps for a tornado. There's some penny-sized hail down here for sure, like an hour or two ago. Declining thermodynamic profile may not support that risk for much longer this evening. So
cool. Severe thunderstorm warning for Sioux Lookout.
Oh, they just got a new one issued?
Oh yeah. It's not much of a More. Not much on that.
Yeah, it's not popping up here yet. But the tornado watch is still there.
It will pop up. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Nope, not yet. Okay. Yours is a little further behind than mine, but there's.
I haven't heard of any tornadoes actually touching down today.
No.
Yeah, I guess because
it's mostly
I'm further.
in Minnesota. There's one that touched down there. I saw.
And then we had one yesterday in Saskatchewan, Langdale.
Saskatchewan. Yep. What was it? Lang something. Lang Bank. There we go.
Lang Bank, or what the fuck kind of name is that? Fucking Lang Bank.
Just south of Whitewood.
Whitewood and Lang Bank. Wang Bank, Wood Town.
Oh
Yeah, nothing, no damage or nothing, right? So
they're investigating that right now, so we'll see what we find, but didn't look like any damage from what
I was
saw.
out in a field there with 500 kilometers an hour, F0.
Probably.
Yeah, there. Okay, I snorted. Now that I got a good mic, I can't snort no more.
Can't snort no more.
Gotta cut that shit out. So yeah, we don't really have any information from Environment Canada yet, but Brandon gets the message first. He's further east than me, so it's like it takes longer to get here, right? It's like,
oh yeah, there we go. There's the yep.
Well, that makes no sense at all. I'm totally.
It's been a wild week.
Look at some of that. I mean, that's.
Oh yeah.
One impressive line heading towards Ignis.
Yep, probably got some big winds with that one. Got some storms popping up in Alberta too, so we might get a storm here before midnight. But just past my bedtime anyways.
Just look at the beautiful shape of the granite rock and the lakes, and I miss Ontario sometimes.
Yeah.
Wish I was there watching severe thunderstorms roll through. Spooky up there when bad weather comes through.
Oh yeah,
trees,
and then boom, storm.
You're in the middle of nowhere, and you're like on rock, and everything feels electric.
Change my lighting.
More or less how I got shocked at my mom's place there, right? It's like everything's just big old bedrock. It's just
bedrock. Hold on.
Rock and lake. It's like there's nothing protecting you from the lightning at all. It's like it hits the ground and just everywhere. Like it's so intimidating,
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Here in the mountains, it's like you can stand there and watch it hit the mountains. Like most days, every once in a while, you get surprised. I've had a couple hit in town here when I was out watching. I was like, oh, yeah, that's too close. What am I doing? But, generally, you got the mountains here. It's like.
Then out in the prairie. Oh, you probably saw that video from Calgary, I think last week. It was posted a couple of days ago. But this, we can't really post it on the show tonight because they were saying some bad words,
But we can post it on this. We just can't post it on the.
Yeah. But they were traveling through south of Calgary there, and the lightning struck just in front of their vehicle.
Find the video, man. Play it.
And the reaction was hilarious. Was it like? I'll try. I see if I can find it here.
Well, we'll revisit this Ontario nonsense in a little while. We've been spending. Hey, Mark Ingalls, good to see you, buddy. You're back in evening. British Columbia.
I was in British Columbia last time.
Were you okay?
Oh yeah.
I don't remember. I don't even know where I am. All I know is I got a new microphone. That's my whole plan for the show.
Yeah, you sound nice.
I got it working.
You sound nice. I am going to Oregon tomorrow.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, it's not posted on their page. Okay.
Brandon's going to find us this lightning strike video in Calgary before we look at more weather stuff I got.
Would a lightning strike video not be weather stuff?
It's weather stuff.
It's weather stuff. I just can't post it on the show because they say bad words, when the lightning strikes.
Yeah, and Joey doesn't know how to use the bleep function.
Yeah.
Well, we also don't own the footage. That's more the thing. I know how to bleep things out. I've often cut swearing out.
Oh, hang on, my wife's calling me.
I see on the audio graph when I'm editing the, fucking shit, and I just cut it. So it just says fucking and nothing. Just cut the shit right out.
Oh yeah. Let me see. I gotta find it on my page. That's gonna be an adventure.
Oh, it might be a little while. Okay, well, I could, in theory. Hey, Caribou Outlaw. Hey, Shelly. Hey, Lightning Rod. Legendarily cold Thunder Bay. It's 27 Celsius inside the garage again. 51% humidity. He
All right.
says. Nicely raining in Prince George. Gary says, 100 Mile House. Watching the season premiere of Rust Valley Resors. That's cool. Yeah, that's my buddy Rob Hall's brother Mike. They're rock scalers. That's what those family originally was. Well, I got some. Let me know when you find it.
Okay.
We're wasting valuable pre-show
Yep,
time.
keep on
right
going.
now.
I'll find it.
Got tomorrow night's Aurora forecast.
Some incredible
Pretty
Aurora
limited.
this week. My goodness, that was a good show. Monday night there. Even though it only lasted for 10 minutes. I was fine with that. So I had to go to bed.
I like where the location of some of this is. It may give us a little bit, looking like Western Canada might get a bit of a show. So we'll see. So that's that. Of course, we got severe thunderstorm watches going on right now. Okay, this is an old one, so I could just refresh this. Make a look at her again. There's our new severe warning. Tornado watch continues in northern Ontario. Hazards near Otakakan Lake, moving northeast at 65 kilometers per hour. The thunderstorms are moving pretty fast, so you can't just get on your quad and outrun these ones unless you got a real highway. 100-kilometer-hour wind gusts are the main hazards, so that includes regions like Roadhouse Lake and Blackstone Lake. So don't forget, hazardous storms can break branches and throw them into pools of water. Careful. Okay, here's our jet stream. Look at this, Mark. We got one of your split flows going on here right now. And a very active jet across the Pacific. Oh, Mark's talking to his wife right now, I think, actually. Very active jet across the Pacific. It looks like we got some atmospheric river dynamics in play now for the West Coast. So that's something we're really keeping our eye on. In fact, we could go and have a look at our loop of the model images right now. There's our split flow Mark's talking about in the jet stream. And bam, by Saturday, Sunday, and Monday, BC is getting a soaking. The hose is getting turned on. The question is, who's going to get the biggest drenching? Where is the nozzle going to be pointed on the coast? So we keep seeing some different solutions in the modeling. All solutions seem to agree that the hose is going to be turned on. It's like every day we get a slightly different location. So it's moved a little further north yet again today in the models. Okay, here's the North Pacific right now. And I got to move this up here. You can't see that, but I can. Rain in the next bunch of days. That's what we're looking at here. We're looking at this potential for atmospheric river trend. Who's going to get the most? So starts on Friday in the North Coast. Where is the end of the hose going to end up? So some large rainfall totals. Coming into the BC interior, BC coast mountains there. And that will make some of its way into the interior as well. So expect over the weekend, you could see as much as 20 millimeters rain, maybe more, maybe less, but that's a good guess. Higher in the high country, in the mountains. Southern BC, not so much. In fact, if you're down in that Cranbrook area, you're probably getting some of the nicer weather, or maybe even a Soyuz. Once again, lucking out. So here's where the continuation of precipitation now looks like it's going to be. Looks like it's going to end more up in the Alaska area. So the other day we had it down here, south of that Falls place. Now we got solution in the modeling showing it a little further north. So, we're continuing to watch over the next week to see where gets the dump of everything. Here comes the look at snowfall. New snow in that time. So again, this is mostly for northern British Columbia, Spetzizi Plateau, maybe a little bit for the North Rockies. Some of these areas in BC and these are real tall mountains in there, but we're talking some pretty significant snowfall totals up there. And again, also for Alaska. So keeping our eyes open for these numbers have jumped up and down the last couple of days. We've seen it at times say high as 3 meters, seen some of the rainfall totals as high as 400 mils in places on the BC coast. Originally, when we were looking at the other day, it was really looking like Vancouver Island take more of a direct hit, but so the models keep changing.
Okay, found the video.
You did. Oh,
I
good.
sure did.
Wow, I didn't miss it.
Didn't miss it. Nope.
That was a long time. I forgot about you. I was like, I wonder where
Forgot about
Brandon
me.
is.
How did you forget about me?
She she printed out something and forgot to take it down to the car, so I had to run it down to her.
Ooh. Let's see. Here we go.
Could be snowing a little bit in northern BC even tonight in the high mountains, and maybe a little bit even down the Rockies tomorrow. So here comes that low, I think. It's going to start touching the coast there Friday evening. Thunderstorms up the Alaska Panhandle.
You were talking about...
Oh, that's not the video. Back up. That's the wrong video.
You were talking about the weather models kind of flip-flopping on it, and that's pretty typical. Weather models are usually pretty bullish on storms making it into high pressure systems, and the reality is that they're just it's really hard to break down a high pressure system like that.
Go back.
No, there's no doubt that the hose is getting turned on. It's just how much and who.
Okay.
Well, and this is the time of year when it aims at the North Coast and Southeast Alaska. This is the wettest time of year there. We'll get ours. The storm track slides further south as the season goes on. I suspect we may have we're actually coming into a warm spell, but I suspect we may get some of that moisture in middle of next month or so.
Something's going to make its way inland, but yeah, nothing crazy. Some of those storms that possibly be forming next week out there in the Aleutian Islands and whatnot are really crazy looking.
Well, I mean, that's pretty
classic looking.
Again, classic looking. This is the time of year. They get storm surge off of those storms, and that part of Alaska is really flat. Hi, Mike. That part of Alaska is really flat. And so storm surge is a real issue for those native communities. Of course, back in the day, they would just move. But now that we are, living in homes that don't move, this is a real problem for them.
Okay.
So active storm track up North BC coast, Alaska Panhandle, and classic Aleutian storms. Some of the most powerful, consistent storms on Earth come out of the Aleutian Islands. So wonderful to have things to talk about so soon already in the season in BC too.
All right. Nice. I can minimize that.
Oh. Chris must be
Brandon's
on a road
really
trip.
struggling with this here. I've been looking at weather maps.
That over. There's Chris. And there's...
Oh, this for a 7-second video.
7 seconds, yeah. My other video didn't want to load. So we'll do this. This is a slow motion. This slow motion. See it right there.
Holy.
Shout out to Lori Barron.
Oh yeah, Lori
and
Barron.
Others. Did you switch yours to pirate?
Yes, I sure did 10 years ago.
I mean, I did
Pirate
it 10
what?
years ago as well, but no, look, it has 12 blabberins and 74 divvies.
Yeah.
There be all.
Pirates, portraits, bewitched
Portraits. That's funny.
There be all. Yeah.
Well, this is why
What?
you
How did
couldn't
you do
find it.
this?
It's one of the language settings.
Oh
English
yeah.
parenthesis pirate. Where were you in 2009?
I wasn't even on Facebook in 2009.
I
was
changed
playing
it to
rock
pirate
and roll.
back in 2009. Yeah.
Like anyone my age, I joined Facebook because a girl told me I should.
My mom told me I should.
So you joined because a girl told you should. Not
Yeah.
for the
I
same
only
reason I
joined-
joined.
I joined Facebook because MySpace stopped being relevant to the music industry. I really had no need for social media outside of, my.
I also joined MySpace because a girl told me I should. She set out she would put me in her top 8 friends, and she did.
I was in Jake the Snake Roberts' top friends.
Jake the Snake.
Actual
Somebody,
Jake the Snake Roberts. Our band was cool back then, man. Even Jake the Snake.
Is he
liked
the
us.
Jake the Snake from Drumheller who put his name in a contest as Jake the Snake? And then they
No, this
blurred
is
his
like
name out of
Jake
it
the
and-
Snake
on
Roberts,
the
the
radio.
actual the wrestler.
Ah.
It's good to see you guys.
Hey, Mike. Ooh, a little bit of rain just near me, just on Quinnell there, actually.
So, when are we
Nice.
recapping our top favorites, memories of summer?
Frankie McDonald's here. It's almost time to roll here. So,
Real quick, I will get off after my segment.
will
so
you
you know.
now?
I'll
That's
go an extra
disgusting.
30 minutes.
Right on,
I'll
Brandon.
probably get off
I'm sure
briefly
Joey
after
will
mine,
really
too.
like
I've got some
that.
things to do at home.
Then I'm gonna make sure Mark goes last,
Thank you. That's really considerate of you.
just so that I can be sure we get the most Mark we can possibly get. Frankie, we just got Frankie's chair so far.
He was here.
He was here. He's disappeared. He's got his invisibility cloak. He's getting ready for talk like a pirate day. Getting his pirate voice going.
Getting the phone. I'm just charging up the other phones.
There's Frankie with his new haircut, buddy.
Yes, I'm here.
Good to see you, man. Okay, I'm ready if you're ready.
South Africa is getting lots of snow in eastern South Africa.
South Africa getting snow. Well, hello everybody. This is Comedeorological Report. I'm Joey Only, your host out here in Wells, British Columbia. It's your show about how much the weather sucks in Canada. And I'm here with, once again, the panel of meteorologists with the number one world's weatherman. That's Frankie McDonald. He'll be with us here in a couple minutes' time. You're listening to us on CFR 88.7 FM in Prince George, CKUW 95.9 in Winnipeg, and CFBX 92.5 Kamloops. And also, maybe you will be watching us on Rogers Television, Vancouver Island outlets. Yes, or on the live stream here in Joey Only Caribou Weather Dude YouTube channel, Thursdays at 7 p.m. Or maybe you are listening to us on Spotify or any of the other places where you can hear a podcast. We're available on all of them right now. So there you go. That's the show. Okay. Without much further ado, let's talk about who's here tonight. Of course, Brandon Houck down in Brooks, Alberta. He's our radio weatherman. He's with us as per usual. We got meteorologist Mark Ingalls down in Surrey, British Columbia with us. And I do think Michael McGregor is here from Weather Center, Manitoba as well. So going to be a night of talking about, we do have some tornado watches going on, still ongoing at this hour in Northern Ontario. It's Thursday, the September 19th. It's exactly 1 year since my friend Kenny and coworker and his crew, Blaine and Jackson and Damien, died in a vehicle accident coming home from a fire. So dedicate this show to the friends and family and everyone involved with those people. Without much further ado, let's move on to the world's greatest weatherman, Frankie McDonald. How you doing so far, buddy?
I'm doing great so far. The weather all across the eastern United States and Canada. Then they got cooler air in Nova Scotia this Friday coming up. Then they got lots of rain in Massachusetts and New York and all these places in New Jersey. Lots of rain in the forecast in the eastern United States of America this weekend coming. Then it's going to be lots of rain in Manitoba as well. and Saskatchewan. They got cold air and warm air fighting each other up in Alberta, Brooks, Alberta. Then it's supposed to be turning really hot in west coast of Canada, and then next week some point. They got cooler air in Los Angeles right now, in San Francisco and Sacramento, all those places right now. Right now they got cooler air in Southern California. It's an odd weather pattern.
It is an odd weather pattern. It's
Then they
sort of a
got
split flow, eh?
really hot weather in Nebraska, Kansas, Oklahoma, and Texas right now.
What else, Frankie?
And in weather all across. In Florida, lots of rain in the forecast in Florida. Then it gets some showers in Vancouver Island this weekend coming. They got warm air, cold air fighting each other all across the United States and Canada. And weather all across Central America. Lots of rain, thunderstorms going on in Central America right now. Like Guatemala all the way down to Panama, El Salvador, and all those places. And the weather down South America. Lots of rain, thunderstorms in Venezuela, Colombia. And it's really dry and a little bit of showers in the Amazon rainforest in Brazil right now. There's a big storms coming off of east coast of Argentina. It's lots of rain, thunderstorms going on in Bolivia and parts of Ecuador, and Peru is really dry there. And northern Chile is really, really dry. And up around the central and southern Chile, lots of rain in Santiago, Chile. And snow up in the mountains. It's rain in the south coast of Chile, snow up in the mountains in southern Chile. It's really cold down southern tip of Argentina right now. It's really cold there in southern Argentina. They got snow in the forecast in Ushio and Argentina and all those places. And lots of storm systems coming off the coast of Argentina, heading towards Antarctica, and they get powerful winds and things like this. Off the coast of Falkland Islands, and they got snow there. And weather all across Europe in the United Kingdom. Lots of warm air in the United Kingdom. We got showers in the forecast in England, Wales, Scotland, Ireland next week. Then they got lots of showers and rain in the forecast and thunderstorms in France, including Spain, Portugal, up and down in Italy. Lots of thunderstorms. And they got some really dry weather in forecast in Italy, including showers in the forecast in Croatia and Bosnia and Balkan countries. And over in Germany, they got dry weather before it rains next week in Germany and Poland and Finland, Sweden and Norway and all those places. Moscow, Russia is really dry right now. Then it got some, and then it got some lots of rain in the forecast in southern Japan and Sapporo, Japan. Then it got a heavy rain in the forecast in South Korea. It's going to bring a whole lot of rain in Seoul, South Korea, and all those places. And Pyongyang, North Korea, and Vladivostok, Russia. Lots of rain and thunderstorms in the Philippines right now in southern China, including Hong Kong. Lots of rain and thunderstorms going on in the Philippines, Vietnam, Laos, Cambodia, Malaysia, Thailand, Singapore, and all those places. And Myanmar, Bangladesh, and India. India's monsoon season's coming to an end. And still some thunderstorms and rain in India right now. And Bangladesh and Myanmar and Sri Lanka. India is soon be entering a dry season. It's really dry up in the Middle East right now, including Saudi Arabia and all those places. There's lots of rain and thunderstorms going on in Nigeria and Ghana and all those places. They got rain and thunderstorms and forecast in Algeria and Morocco and parts of Libya. Lots of rain and thunderstorms in the forecast in Ghana, Central African Republic, and Nigeria, Senegal, and Ghana, and all those places. And Mozambique and Madagascar will be in a rainy season a couple of months away. There's reports have been heavy snow in eastern South Africa. It's really cold in Cape Town, South Africa, Johannesburg, South Africa. It's really cold there right now. It's really cold in South Africa. They got snow in the forecast in eastern South Africa because their southern hemisphere spring starts on September 22nd. Then they got some really hot weather in Botswana right now, including Mozambique and Madagascar and Angola, assuming a rainy season. And Namibia is really, really dry right now. La Reunion and Mauritius Islands right now it's hot and dry, assuming a rainy season. Lots of cold weather and snow in the forecast up in Queenstown, New Zealand. Lots of rain and wind going on in coast areas of New Zealand, including Invercargill, New Zealand. As the rain on, they got parts of cold weather in parts of southeastern Australia. and the rest of Australia. Perth, Australia is really dry right now and warm. Then you got some rain in central Australia right now. There'll be large hail season in Australia. September and October, there'll be their severe weather season. Their time springs ahead on October the 5th and the 6th. And Antarctica is 24-hour. Antarctica should be getting 12-hour daylight on September 22nd. And up the Arctic will be 12-hour daylight, 12-hour darkness up in the Arctic because days are getting shorter there.
So, Frankie, what would you say was the biggest weather story this year in Sydney, Nova Scotia, or Nova Scotia in general?
Biggest snowstorm in Sydney, Nova Scotia, back on February 2nd, 3rd, 4th, 2024. Sydney, Nova Scotia had 150 centimeters of snow. The biggest weather in Los Angeles this year is big rainstorm with 150 plus millimeters of rain in greater Los Angeles. Around the same time as Sydney, Nova Scotia, a massive snowstorm all at once.
What about this summer, though, Frankie? Now that summer's coming to an end, we're looking back at this summer a little bit.
At the Sydney Rib Fest, it was so hot at the Rib Fest this year. A lot of people didn't stay at the Rib Fest because it's so hot in Sydney, Nova Scotia at that time.
Ah, well, what happened? Was there so many extra ribs to go around?
Then it was so much rain and opening ceremonies of the Paris 2024 Olympics.
Right now, there's a really good-looking thunderstorm that's moving through northern Ontario, Frankie. If people are watching the live stream, we know people near the Ojibwe Nation of Saugeen, Savant Lake, places like that in northwestern Ontario. They could be looking at some 90-kilometer-hour winds going on up there, some pretty damaging winds. That can do some stuff to you, right? So, and that's also in Ignis down there on Highway 17. So some very strong thunderstorms going on right now, Frankie. Still, tornado watches all day today up in northern Ontario. What do you think of that, bud?
It's really bad. You got to watch out for large hail.
Yeah, there was some large hail there today, too, and out in Minnesota as well. And there was a tornado yesterday, Frankie, in Saskatchewan, in Langbank.
That means you got to watch out for large hail that can break car windows.
Anybody on the panel here have a question for Frankie McDonald?
I do. Yes. Frankie, good evening. What do you prefer? Heavy rain or heavy snow?
Neither of them. None of
You don't like either of them? Okay.
What if you had to just choose one or the other, though, Frankie? You didn't have a choice.
A lot of people choose heavy rain because they have to get somewhere and things like this. Heavy snow can shut everything down.
Yeah, I've seen heavy snow shut down stuff down. One time we got like 20 centimeters of snow in Portland, and we were forecast to have cold rain, and it took my coworkers 2 hours to drive 5 kilometers.
20 centimeters of snow. That's an average day in Wells.
Frankie, what's your favorite season of the year? Summer, winter, or fall? Or spring?
All of them.
If you had to pick one for the entire year, what would you pick?
In between.
Frankie would pick in between if he could have his choice of favorite season. He loves the in between.
Spring and fall. I like it, Frankie.
Well, he didn't
Good
say
choice.
spring and fall. He said in between.
What does he mean by in between?
Well, that means in between summer and fall.
Summer and winter. In between summer and winter.
Okay, he did say fall then. Brandon, you got a question for Frankie? I know you do.
Oh, do I? Do I? Frankie, have you heard about the new mini moon?
I heard it a long time ago. It's going to be temporary moon.
Yes, for the next 2 months here.
Yeah.
There's a brand new moon. There's also a comet that's going on, Frankie. You know anything about that?
Lots of going around in space.
There's a big comet going by the Earth right now, and Northern Lights possible again on Friday night. Okay, Frankie. Well, we got some videos lined up this week, Frankie McDonald videos, and I can't wait for them because these ones are fabulous. These ones they're nominated for an Oscar. That's how good some of these are. So, Frankie McDonald, the world's famous weatherman, he's got almost 300,000 subscribers on the YouTube channel now. So congratulations, Frankie. You're awesome. I like your new haircut, bud.
Plus, I sent you my South Africa forecast.
Yeah, that's definitely on the videos for tonight. Okay, well, let's jump.
And another forecast, heavy rain to hit Medicine Hat, Alberta. That's another thing.
Oh, I don't have that one. I got oh yes, I do. That's the first one. That was for Wednesday. Did you get your forecast right?
Yes, for Medicine Hat.
I believe you. We'll watch that in a little while. Frankie McDonald's.
Did you get that video?
I wanted to mention
I
something for later, but I don't know if it's my turn to talk or is it someone else's here.
Well, if you're gonna mention it, just mention it.
Okay, the GDPS is spitting out a hurricane over the tropics by 240 hours from now, and it'll be impacting the Plain States, moving up into southern prairies, which is unusual. But some of you can discuss after Frankie's videos if you want. I don't know.
I'll discuss that a little bit. I've got some thoughts on that. We were dealing with that at work.
Okay. Let's go to the Brandon Hauk report.
Could you say that any slower? Wow. That's an entrance. Wow. Wow. And he makes the save for the catches the ball, the foul ball. There we go. That's what Joey just did. So,
what do you got for us this week, Brandon Hauk?
What do we have? What do we have? What do we have? What do we have? Well, an interesting weather setup. We were cool once towards the end of last week, and we warmed up nicely for the weekend. And then we got a couple of thunderstorms. I'd say, well, actually, on Monday night, we had the Aurora Borealis, and that was, well, the nice thing about this very short show, because I have a early morning, is I got to go out there. It wasn't very impressive at first, and then all of a sudden, blew up, lit up, and bam, it was awesome. I should send the video, actually, because I got a video of the Aurora Borealis, and it was pretty awesome. So I'll do that. And then, yeah, that was awesome. And then it lasted for like 10 minutes, and then it just went, poof, see ya. Okay, I guess I could go to bed. And I did. Monday night. And then Tuesday, we had some active weather kind of pushed through the area. Oh, yeah. Some thunderstorm activity. Actually, this happened early Tuesday morning. So like 7 a.m., we had severe thunderstorms ramping up in, it started off very clear, and then thunderstorm just exploded at Bow Island and then moved its way west-northwest and produced a significant amount of rain in some areas. So another 10 to 20 millimeters, which isn't that significant, even though we had 80 millimeters last week in the area. And so thundering, torrential downpour, and then the sun came out late in the afternoon. So that was pretty awesome on Tuesday there. And then we had a couple more strong thunderstorms in Saskatchewan that day. And then yesterday we had that tornado touchdown at Langbank there in Saskatchewan. So the severe weather situation continued, and southern Manitoba had quite the severe weather as well, I believe, right through the Brandon area and down towards the south, just continuous frequent lightning. And oh my goodness. So it feels like the middle of summer there. That was last night across the southern prairies. So that active weather scenario moved off towards the eastern prairies with this fairly extensive area of low pressure, and looks like at least 80 millimeters of rain fell yesterday at Cypress Hills Interprovincial Park there just outside of Maple Creek, Saskatchewan. So yeah, it was active week, no doubt, across the prairies with cooling, warming up again today, And now we're going to see we've got another system moving in, and that has triggered some thunderstorms moving into the Red Deer area. These thunderstorms are going to slide kind of southeast overnight tonight, which is the 19th of September. It's going to pass through the Calgary area and eventually get down towards Brooks just before midnight tonight. And then we will anticipate to see, a cooler day tomorrow, like a 10-degree drop for tomorrow. So the daytime highs will be like 12 degrees. That's it for tomorrow, and rain and a gusty wind to go along with it. So that probably means I have to wear pants tomorrow. And then I can take those pants off by the weekend and into early next week. And then we'll see the temperatures recover into the low 20s. So yeah, we'll see some hints of fall here and there, and then get back into low 20s above average, and then kind of do that kind of bouncing around there on the weather front of things in the next few days. Now, I also found out this week that there's the distillery in Newfoundland. That's right. And they are pretty much going out there at Harbor Grace, Newfoundland. And that area is very, very foggy, you know, and they're going out there with bottles and trying to capture fog. And they take that fog. This is really cool what I've found out this week. They take that fog, they condense it into water, and they make vodka out of it. So you get a fog in your drink, and it's a kind of vodka kind of drink. So I thought that was kind of cool. And there's a Python challenge where they removed, in Florida, 195 invasive Burmese pythons this week. So those are some cool things. Oh, I also found out that space smells like Metella or sweat. There we go. So that's what space smells like. If you ever wanted to know what space smelled like.
Space smells like sweat.
Yeah. Well, good evening. Aurora Borealis show. It's on. Look at this. Wow. Okay, this is just awesome. Incredible. Aurora Borealis.
It's amazing how good your camera
Just
picked
to
that
the
up.
west of Brooks here. Wow. This just lit right up.
Good one, Brandon.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's amazing how you actually got video of it. That's something I've
I
been
know,
trying to.
I didn't.
How do you get a video of Northern Lights? And nothing I do, it just looks like a black screen.
So, I guess this phone has a good camera on it.
What
I
kind of
guess.
phone is that? Like
iPhone X.
what?
One of the higher ends ones.
I had an iPhone, it wouldn't do that.
Well, you had the wrong iPhone.
I guess so. I don't have an iPhone anymore. Well, I have
iPhone.
one. It's just
Oh.
not my main thing anymore. Now I
Oh,
now I have
okay.
another thing that's my thing.
That's
Anybody
your thing.
Anyone got a question for Brandon Hauk? Mark, you got questions for Brandon?
Yeah,
What?
Brandon, when are the Northern Lights going to hit my house?
Maybe Friday. Maybe. If you're
And
lucky.
a follow-up, how do we stop the US government from using HARP to create the Northern Lights?
Oh. How do you stop that? Just keep them south of the border, probably. Maybe that might
Well,
be
it's in
best.
HARP is in Alaska.
Oh, Alaska. Oh, right,
And a
Alaska.
couple of months away, that'll be last sunset up above the Arctic Circle in Barrow, Alaska, around November 19th.
You're a weather nerd and you don't even know about the Harpon conspiracies?
Oh, I
So
know.
HARP is for those who may not know, it's a like some sort of radio research facility up in Alaska, and the conspiracy theorists are all like, oh, anytime like the Northern Lights are really cool, or like some sign of climate change, they're like, oh, the government's running it. It's worse than chemtrails.
Yeah, no, they're really convinced about this stuff too.
Or that 5G is interfering with the weather patterns. I've heard that being thrown around too.
But specifically
5G.
about HARP, you can go to the University of Alaska and take part. You actually go to the open houses they have sometimes.
You just
They
have to
allow
go to
the public
Alaska.
to walk through it. You know, it's not some big conspiracy. They study the Northern Lights. That's what they're not causing
All right.
it. They're studying it. A very big difference.
It's
I think we should put up a whole bunch of Frankies at the border by Alaska to stop people from going in there and creating the aurora borealis.
No,
Cardboard
Frankie does not
cutouts.
want to live in Alaska.
it's 4:22 in the morning in Paris, France.
4:20 in the morning, Paris, France.
Yep,
That's
smoke
the
them if
time
you
I
got
get
'em.
up.
Yeah, people are just going to bed now.
People are sleeping in Paris.
I never sleeps that place, I heard.
Except morning radio hosts are up.
And Base Guy's best friend Stevan, he lives in Slovakia. It's 4:22 in the morning where he's at.
They do sleep in Slovakia.
My
That's
wife
a-
was not impressed with Slovakia when she went there.
That's where
Well,
Base Guy's best friend Stevan, he lives there.
Sounds like a wonderful dish. Like I would totally eat that. Like I'd take a double helping of Slovakia right now.
Put some maple mustard on it.
Pretty hungry. Anyone else got questions for Brandon Hauk before we move on? Brandon Hauk, thanks for the wonderful report. No one's got questions for you.
Yeah, Brandon, is this second moon going to be visible? Am I going to be able to see another moon mooning us?
I'll show you a second moon.
No, you won't be able to see the second moon, sadly. So, just got to look at the only moon that we have, I guess. Well, yeah,
So what's the
That's
whole point of them calling it a second moon then?
it's pretty tiny.
I think it's just well, clickbait.
Yeah, well, that's exactly right. This sort of thing happens pretty regularly, like every couple of years.
What, clickbait?
Why not both? Clickbait
Yeah.
and
Every couple of
and
years I notice
new
something
moons.
that's I'd say that's definitely clickbait.
yes.
Every couple of years. Okay, Mark, meteorologist Mark Engels. How you doing?
Hello. Good. I sent you some pictures for you to put up so I could flex on everyone.
Oh, I thought you were gonna put those up. Okay, I can.
Well,
I
I
can
was going to, but I don't really know how to do it on the Mac. I haven't really explored that yet, so I don't know how to do it without having like all the extra screen stuff. Like I don't need people seeing my phone number and stuff like that. So I'll have
Phone
you
number.
pull it up. Yeah, my phone number. It starts with
What's your phone number?
Yeah, it's 8675309. So I went on a boat trip on Saturday. A friend of mine invited my family to go from Point Roberts, Washington, down to Pattis Island. That's in the San Juan Islands. San Juan County in Washington is unique that you have to take a ferry to get to it.
Is that what that is
unlike
right there? Is the ferry?
that's a ferry going to Vancouver Island, actually. So while we were coming back, this mesocyclone came off Vancouver Island over the Strait of Georgia. And so I got this picture of it. There, I got to see a nice cloud to water lightning strike. When we got into Point Roberts, it was rolling thunder. It was pretty awesome. I got to pilot the boat for like 15 nautical miles. That was awesome. I found a geocache, and I had to I had to walk across a log. I have a couple more pictures here if you want to rifle
Yeah,
through
well,
them.
I was still so mesmerized by this.
I know this was pretty awesome.
That's a great photo.
Unfortunately, it died. We went after getting off the boat. We went to a park in Point Roberts on the water to watch it, and it died. So here's me piloting the boat with my co-pilot daughter. And for those who can't see, I'm piloting a boat on the Puget Sound. And there's the thunderstorms in the background. You can see them developing there. This is about 45 minutes before the storm picture. That was pretty awesome. And we just hiked around the island. It was really cool. And the boat was great. She lives on this boat. Well, she kind of lives on this boat. She's doing a flotilla up to Deception Sound, maybe somewhere up the BC coast. But it was just
Desolation Sound.
Yeah, Desolation Sound. That's what it is. Yeah. So she's going to be up there for the next 2 weeks, and that was pretty awesome. I would love to do something like this someday. But I have to, make money and contribute to society first. Talking about this hurricane that may or may not happen that Mike mentioned. So the weather models have been pretty consistently showing showing the a hurricane going into the Gulf of Mexico. This has been on the models for the last couple of days. This is the boat moored, so we had to tie to this mooring ball in between two islands, and then we rode a dinghy to get to the island itself. And we were the only people on the island, which was pretty fantastic. And there's a lighthouse. It was just awesome. I need a boat. But my grandpa says the best day in any man's life is the day you buy a boat, and the second best day is when you sell your boat.
You don't see that much around here, We only have heavy houses here.
I don't know what that means.
You had a lighthouse there.
Oh man, that was.
I'm really, really trying this week.
That was painful. I'm glad you did it though. So the weather models have been showing this hurricane developing in the Gulf of Mexico, or actually, I think it shows it developing in the Caribbean and moving into the Gulf. But Mike mentioned there is a chance that it runs into Texas and then the remnants go up into the plains and bring some moisture to eastern Canada or maybe the prairies. But you'll have a model run that takes it into like Mexico, south of Texas, and then you'll have a model run that takes it into the Florida Panhandle, and then you'll have a model run that'll run it into Georgia or something off the Atlantic and not even go into the Gulf. So there is a considerable amount of uncertainty with this, and nobody should be freaking out. I want to be very clear. There is a chance that a hurricane goes into the Gulf next week. That's all we know. So if you live in hurricane country, you should, it's hurricane season. You should be prepared to take necessary actions, but you don't need to freak out and leave. You have a higher chance of this hurricane not hitting you than it hitting you. And there's a chance it doesn't form. This storm system that is forecast to become a hurricane hasn't even developed yet, let alone the hurricane itself. If this happens, I think it'll be Friday or later, even next week. It's way too far out to be given specifics. But it's a good chance that we'll see a hurricane somewhere, but nobody knows where. And anyone who tells you where, don't listen to them.
Well, that makes me think that everyone should freak out because you have no idea where it is. I'm freaking out right now, man. I'm freaking out.
Yeah. For all those hurricanes that come into Wells, British Columbia. That's right.
It could happen. Climate change. HARPs.
HARPs, yeah. The Aurora Borealis is going to bring the hurricane in. No, we do
think so? You're a meteorologist. You tell us.
Well, we do have an atmospheric river coming into BC, north coast and southeast Alaska. It's going to dump a ton of snow in the coastal mountains north of Bella Coola or something. And then we'll have modest amounts of snow in northern BC and in Yukon and in the interior highland areas. And the moisture from this atmospheric river is coming all the way from the South China Sea. So there is an unbroken area of moisture that's being pulled by these low pressure systems. And what happens with the cold front is low pressure system will have a cold front following it. But if the low pressure system is moving in a certain way, that front will become stationary. And so all that water gets funneled along that. And that's how you get your atmospheric river. So that's going to be earlier in the week. We kind of thought it may be coming closer to the lower mainland, but there's a high pressure system offshore, and those are pretty hard to break down, especially this time of year. But this is the wettest time of year up in southeast Alaska. Over the next 6 to 8 weeks or so, we'll see these systems slide down. I'm not going to sit here and tell you we're going to get a huge atmospheric river in 6 to 8 weeks in the lower mainland, but our wettest time of year down here is in November. So that's pretty well tracked. What it says to me
is that we have this pattern is now in play. Right. So this is representative of what we might expect as we come into the fall season, right?
Yes, that's a good point. And we may get some moisture out of this into the rest of British Columbia and even into Washington because that high being offshore, some of that moisture may wrap around the east side of it and come down further south, but it's not going to be,
Can we play this
you know,
game?
it's not going to
Yeah,
be
right?
substantial.
I would love to play it.
Hey, Mike, you turned off your mute.
I'm sorry.
This is live streaming for everyone.
I'm sorry.
then-
I'm sorry. I accidentally did that.
Okay.
No, you're fine.
Continue,
You're
Mark.
fine.
So here's the tornado sound going. Oh, a drunken gorilla.
Well, it's a good thing we got Frankie's tornado siren, because next I was going to talk about the polar vortex. Polar vortex has been tossed into the social consciousness because of, clickbait and whatever. But the polar vortex, first of all, always exists in the pole. So like the polar vortex is a low pressure system over right now the South Pole. It develops in the winter. Well, it develops in the fall, lasts through the winter, and this is what drives the jet stream. So it is starting to, in the very early stages of developing at the North Pole. The polar vortex exists primarily in the stratosphere, which is 30 kilometers up into the atmosphere. And we're looking at an unusual heat event in the stratosphere in like Siberia, Alaska, and the Canadian Arctic over the next month or so. And I think, and I'm kind of going out on a limb here, to be honest, but I think this is a signal that we will get stratospheric warming events in January and February, which are what causes big cold snaps to come out of the Arctic into the mid latitudes. In North America, this happens more frequently, like Alberta, Saskatchewan, and then down into the Great Lakes. But we do get some of this into British Columbia every now and then. So I think between La Nina and the situation in the polar stratosphere right now, I think we're in for a pretty active winter across a lot of Canada, not just British Columbia. Hopefully we do get a lot of snow though, because we always need the water. And then in Canadian weather history this week, on September 21, 2018, the Ottawa area got a tornado outbreak. Low pressure system was moving towards the Hudson Bay, and the warm front in front of the low pressure system brought significant amounts of Gulf of Mexico moisture into southern Ontario and southern Quebec. There were 7 tornadoes, 6 in the National Capital Region. The largest was an EF3. 272 customers were without power in the National Capital Region, and nearly $300 million of damage was done in Ontario alone. So that's this week in Canadian weather history. And like Joey mentioned at the start of the podcast, at the start of the show, I'm going to pitch the podcast because he won't remember where everything is. So we are on, as the Comedeorological Report, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Castbox, and Amazon Music, or whatever they call it.
You're correct about that. My whole plan for this week's show was to
drunken gorilla goes.
Frankie, what does a gorilla drink to get drunk?
Come on, Mark. Frankie wants to hear your gorilla.
My gorilla? At the Omaha Zoo in Nebraska, they have gorillas, and they're the silverback gorillas. And I went on my church mission, and we're wearing the white shirts and ties and whatever. But we discovered if you turn your back to the gorilla, the El Jefe gorilla really hates that and will come and pound the glass really hard. So we had a lot of fun going to the zoo and then all turning our backs to the gorilla, and it just would come up like Mach 10 and just ram the window.
Here's the Christmas Day. Feliz 99. That's Christmas coming up in December.
Yes, and I see your antlers.
Frankie wants to hear a moose call.
Yeah, let's hear a moose call, Frankie.
That's really good.
That was good. It's a really good moose call.
Mark, you got tornado siren for us? Yeah, all right. Mark, what was your top story of the summer?
Top story of the summer was that really good rain event that we got like end of July, beginning of August when it was, fall is my favorite season. And so I forget how much it rained, but it was like 2 days straight of just light rain. And I think it was like 18 degrees or something. It was awesome. And I just moved up here. Like, we didn't hit 30 degrees at all this year. I love it. I grew up in Eastern Washington where, like, in a normal year, you're hitting 42 or 43, and we didn't even hit 30. But that rain event we got midsummer, that was just great. Really just ticked all the boxes and helped me get up to fall.
Mike McGregor, what was the biggest weather story in Manitoba this summer?
Well, it would have to be the tornado outbreak we had in, I believe it was May or June. We had 6 tornadoes in one day. And it would have to be the nonstop thunderstorms when Big saw. They had more thunderstorms than I think more of them than we did in 1983. We had about 8 recorded days of thunderstorms in Winnipeg, on top of another 8 in July. We had the most. I remember as a kid experiencing thunderstorms almost every day, and definitely felt like felt like those years. So it's a typical summer, but I have to say that the amount of active weather we've had was on the top charts, despite the low tornado count. I think we're at 10 now, so our average is about 8. So I think in general it was active, but I didn't see any tornadoes in my area this summer.
Brandon, what would you say was the weather story of the summer in Alberta?
Well, I'll say a couple of them because there are two fairly big events that stand out here in Alberta for the summer. One was the fire in Jasper that caused significant damage there, and I was the guy who who was going to go to bed but not go to bed that night because we decided to jump on and pretty much cover the evacuation of Jasper that night. And then a couple weeks later, people are still recovering from that significant wildfire in Jasper, Alberta. About 30% of the town got lost there. So that's probably one of the biggest ones. The second biggest one was August the 5th when we had a massive supercell move off of the foothills and move into Calgary, which ended up being the costing $1.2 billion in damage, which was estimated about a couple of weeks ago with major hail on the north edge of Calgary. And the same storm took a rip down the Kiwi. Well, actually met up with another storm south of Calgary, a supercell. And those two kind of merged together. And the hail core just passed to the south of me here, but still, what a storm that was. The lightning was just nonstop frequent, and we had significant hail damage to crops on the south side of the county of Newell from about, let's say, Rainier through Rolling Hills Reservoir, south of just north of Rolling Hills itself and just south of Tilly, Alberta there. And then we had a secondary severe thunderstorm that night that moved through the area with strong winds and more lightning, and it was moved so fast that it was just unbelievable night of thunderstorm action. And I think I covered that event right from 10 p.m. till 2 a.m. that night in our area here. So yeah, those are some of the weather highlights that stick out to me for the summer of 2024.
We do have Justin just showing up from Weather Center in Manitoba. I didn't quite finish with Mike either, but we could maybe merge you two a little bit. This week in Manitoba, so much rain in some of those totals down south there, some of those thunderstorms.
Yeah, I was just looking over the information on Julian, JJC Winnipeg Twitter. They said that station has broken the 200 millimeter mark. Elma, north of Hattiesville, recorded 206 millimeters of rain since yesterday, 165 millimeters in 6 hours. And they said that monumental rainfall, apparently it's the wettest that we've seen in September. Normal rainfall is only 50 to 60. So we're talking about triple the monthly normal in less than 24 hours. Justin has more info about some of the flooding that happened. I heard that he almost, Justin, I heard you got almost blown over on the road yesterday by a storm.
Well, first of all, hello everyone. I heard
Hey,
y'all
Justin.
talking about harp, so I figured I'd have to come on and also join the conversation.
We haven't seen you since your new baby arrived, so it's nice to see you.
Yeah, it's nice to see everybody. The baby's doing good, and we're all good. So yeah, I thought I'd come on for a few minutes and just say hi to everybody. So yeah, we've definitely had some flooding across southeastern parts of the province, and yeah, it was we had some thunderstorms, some training thunderstorms. So you know what that means. You get one storm, and then just imagine train tracks, and you got just another train and another train and another train, and it's the same train tracks, the same track, and that's kind of like the storms. A storm would happen, and then there'd be another storm following that exact same track, and yeah, we ended up having over 200 millimeters of rain in some of those areas, as Mike was saying. And yes, I was storm chasing yesterday. Pretty amazing to have supercells mid-September. Started the chase day down in Boissevain, and then we worked our way north towards Shiloh. And in fact, that's the area right around Shiloh, east of Brandon, where yeah, we got a big Ford truck and four-wheel drive, and we're getting blown off the road pretty much. And actually, right before I hopped on the show here, one of my friends messaged me because there was a vehicle and we could barely see their tail lights as we were kind of following them down this gravel road chasing the storm, and it's just all hell's breaking loose. There's heavy rain and wind all different directions, and I look at the radar and there's a huge couplet right over where we're at, and it just snuck up on us. We're like, oh shit, like what is going on here? And then all of a sudden we lose the taillights in front of us. And so my friend messaged me and said that they actually ended up swerving off the road and into the ditch. So that's why we lost the taillights of them in front of us. And the same thing almost happened to us. We almost ended up in the ditch too. So I wonder if there's a small twister that may have just kind of spun up out of nowhere there, right around Shiloh, Cottonwoods, Manitoba. So I don't know. I was, maybe going to go drive out that way and see if there's any damage, but never ended up heading that way. But yeah, it could have been a quick spin up. It was pretty outflow by that point, but you get those little notches in those squall lines, and that's kind of what we were looking at there yesterday around Shiloh, Manitoba. And then
Yeah, I saw a post that the Northern Tornadoes project, they went out to investigate today for storm damage.
They did, yeah. I was hoping that they would stop by the Shiloh area, but I think they went straight west to there was a tornado in Langbank, Saskatchewan, yesterday afternoon. So, but yeah. Anyway, then we started moving back to Brandon, to back home, and then another little complex of storms blew up just north of Brandon over Forest, and so myself and we had a new team member Andrew Ham, and then Chase partner there Jamie Freeman. All three of us stopped Forest, Manitoba, north of Brandon, and it was just a barrage of CG lightning strikes, like bolts of lightning like you'd never seen before. It was amazing. And so that was a great way to end off mid-September chase. So yeah, we've been having a lot more moisture and it's humid outside, but it hasn't really been super hot. It's been cooler, but it's been nice to see that the grass is turning green again. And I mean, it's pretty typical because the fall time is, that a period where you move from summer into winter, kind of that you're moving away from that summer pattern into the fall pattern. So it gets pretty moist on the eastern prairies. So it's nice to see. But yeah, it's nice to see everybody. And yeah, I'm doing well and the family's doing well. So yeah.
I wanted to mention that yesterday we had a thunderstorm. I was talking to some people here in Winnipeg, and they said that it looked like absolute nighttime. All the street lights turn on at noon. At a whale's mouth, go over the city. It got rained on quite hard. Had several close lightning CG strikes. Shook our house and shook the car we were in too. And I was actually looking at the humidity data yesterday. Winnipeg Airport reached a dew point temperature of 21 degrees Celsius, the latest date since 1953 for that to occur, beating 2019 by 1 day. It was thanks to a prolonged southerly flow across the U.S. plains. So I've never seen it this warm and humid in September before. We had a thunderstorm here the other night, frequent lightning, and then yesterday we had one try to form south of the city. Didn't get hit by any, but then today we had another thunderstorm all through this afternoon in Winnipeg. So I think it's been a pretty epic storm season for all of us. I'm looking forward to going chasing next year with Justin. I got my driver's license now, so I'm looking forward to what storm season has for winter for the both of us. Because it's even though we got rain, our grass is starting to turn brown a little bit and help us go into next year. But it's been an incredible year in Manitoba and lots of thunderstorms. I got lots of videos I'll share with you guys, maybe even use it for a future stream. But thanks. It's good to see you guys.
Some of that same weather still going through Northern Ontario at 7:47 p.m. Through Glitch Lake, St. Raphael Lake, moving at 70 kilometers an hour, the storm, and there's still a tornado watch up there, but more we're talking about straight line winds right now, 100 kilometer an hour wind gusts. That includes Maxim Lake, Dorothy Lake, Fry Lake, Blackstone Lake, Dobie Lake. So if you know people in Northern Ontario watching the live stream, remind them these storms are not fooling around out there. They could do a lot of damage. The top story in BC, I think in the BC interior, which is my zone of weather watching, is I'd definitely say we had like those 3 weeks of very, very hot and dry weather, unseasonably. The humidity, the humidex values being very, very, very super dry, right? So weather straight out of the desert, more or less, aims coming from the south straight to BC, right? Very, very dry, and then we had the thunderstorm outbreaks that happened amidst that. First, there was the one here in Wells that started the fire, and then a couple weeks go by, the heat continues, persists on. Then we had that cold front go through, and that cold front, the dry cold front was made for spectacular thunderstorms. Potentially could have seen some tornadoes spin up even in the British Columbia interior during that time, and also out south of Grand Prairie, Alberta. Fantastic thunderstorms, and all the fires took off and ran. That included the fire that started in Jasper at that time. So that was really connected to the same weather event that Brandon was talking about, more or less, too, right? The fire in Jasper was all part of that same thing that happened. Okay, Frankie, are you ready?
Yes, I'm ready for Frankie videos.
I'm ready for Frankie videos. What about the rest of y'all? Are you guys all ready for Frank videos? Okay, well, we radio listeners have to look up okay, there you go. Thumbs up. Yep. Radio listeners, that's okay. 1 second here. Let me get going. Can everybody see Frankie? Can everyone see Frankie?
Yes, I see Frankie.
Yep. Looks
Okay.
good.
Here we go.
This is Frankie McDowell, my own team station live in Sydney, Nova Scotia. Heavy rain and really strong winds headed towards Medicine Hat, Alberta on Wednesday, September the 18th, 2024. It's going to bring up to 30 plus millimeters of rain in Medicine Hat, Alberta and surrounding areas. It's going to also hit Brooks, Alberta, really strong winds, including Crow's Nest Highway 3 in Medicine Hat and Trans-Canada Highway number 1. Be prepared. Make sure you wear your rain gears. They'll be too windy for umbrella from Medicine Hat, Alberta, and the surrounding areas. Make sure you wear your rain gear. Don't walk through the puddles. Avoid the puddles you go for a walk, including people in Brooks, Alberta, Canada. I want every single person in Medicine Hat, Alberta, to be prepared for heavy rain and very strong winds on Wednesday, September 18, 2024. It's going to bring a lot of rain to Medicine Hat surrounding areas as well. If you have anybody live in Medicine Hat, Alberta, be prepared for heavy rain on Wednesday, September 18, 2024. Take care, stay safe. Don't get caught in heavy rain. Stay dry, be safe.
Did you get it right, Frankie?
Yeah. Hey, everybody, let's do a helicopter sound.
Okay, everyone. Come on, Brandon. That's pretty good. Come on, Mike, let's hear it. Where are you, Brandon? Let's hear it.
My helicopter. Here we go.
Oh, Brandon's spinning. That's a physical helicopter. He wants to hear it. Frankie has to hear the helicopter sound, Brandon.
So I can't act like a
I'm
helicopter.
Frankie McDowell.
You lose.
Yeah.
This is Frankie McDowell, my own team station live in Sydney, Nova Scotia. Heavy snow is headed towards eastern South Africa starting on Thursday, September 19, 2024. It's going to continue until Saturday, September 21st, 24 is going to bring a whole lot of snow in eastern South Africa. It's going to bring a lot of snow. It's going to bring a whole lot of snow up in the higher altitude. It's going to bring cold temperatures in Johannesburg, South Africa, and Cape Town, South Africa. It's going to bring really cold temperatures in South Coast of South Africa. It's going to bring a lot of snow up in the mountains in South Africa. I want every single person to dress very warm and be extra prepared. For people living at higher altitudes, make sure you have your shovels, snow scoops, snow blowers, snow plows, and salt trucks ready as well. For people living in South Africa, including up in the higher altitudes in South Africa, up in the mountains, be extra prepared since it's going to bring a lot of snow in South Africa, including higher altitudes in South Africa, in eastern South Africa as well. Since the cold air is coming from Antarctica, that's going to trigger snow up in the mountains in South Africa as well. If you have anybody living in South Africa, be prepared for heavy snow starting on Thursday, September 19, 2024. Take care, stay safe. Don't get caught in heavy snow. Stay warm, be safe. It's almost 5 feet.
Here we go. Frankie's going to spin around once again. Okay, that's C-Brand. This is what spinning around. There's one difference between acting like a helicopter and sounding like one. That's what we were trying to establish here. This is a video of Frankie spinning. He's now spinning around and spinning around. Frankie, how many times did you spin around, do you think?
Lots of them.
A lot of times.
He can do both. Dizzy? He can do it all.
You're still spinning. Do you get dizzy when you act like a helicopter? Do you think you could make a video sometime where you spin and make helicopter sounds at the same time?
Yeah, I'd like to see that.
I'm working on it.
You're working on it.
He's working on
That's
it.
good.
Yeah.
I like the airplane. It goes nice and straight, you know, like that. Or the jet.
That's I've never seen anyone do so many spins. It's like if you're on the Gravitron. Frankie,
you know what I think we need to get?
Gravitron.
We need to get Frankie a jetpack. So when he does an airplane noise, he flies out.
There he is.
Thanks for watching. I'm Frank Down.
He survived a good spinning. Okay. Last year he promised us. It's Vampire Frankie McDonald.
All you guys had a good Halloween is great this year.
Hope you had a good Halloween last year. It's hard to understand him, but I can.
I'm going to see how you're doing so here.
Okay, I can't anymore.
I hope you had a good Halloween.
Good Halloween. Hope you had a good Halloween.
Going to get some hair.
They're going good so far for Dracula Frankie. He's got his Dracula teeth in, radio listeners. And he's very scary.
I'll see you in
He'll kill you in 2024, he just said. Coming soon.
Is this where he
Vampire
drinks the
Frankie
tea?
McDonald will return. He promised us last year, and there he is. And so will Zorka.
Hey everyone, guess who's back? I am Sortron. I just came back to planet Earth once again just for a little visit. And I've been to Saturn's moon Titan before. I've been to Jupiter's moon Europa before. Sortron is back for a little bit. I've been to planet Pluto. I've been to one of the dwarf planets that used to be a planet. Things are going great so far. Sortron is back. I've been to Mars, moons, Phobos, and Deimos. Things are going great so far. Sortron, I'm back. I'm doing great so far. Sortron has returned to planet Earth for a little bit for Halloween. Sortron is back on Earth for Halloween. Things are going really great so far. Sortron is back on Earth for Halloween. Things are going great so far. I'm doing really well. Things are going great. I've been to other planets and other galaxies, Andromeda Galaxy, M33 Galaxy, things like this. I've been to other galaxies and places like this, like Andromeda Galaxy, Milky Way, other solar systems and Milky Way Galaxy. Things are going right so far. I have to get going now. I got other planets to visit. See you soon. Bye for now.
Is Zorkon gonna visit the mini moon?
Yes. Zorton, are you going to visit the mini moon? Are you coming back this Halloween, Zorktron?
He will be back.
He will be back. What about you, Brandon? What was your question?
Oh, on the mini moon there. So, but I heard he's going to be back, so that's good. Zorktron will be back.
Hey, Brandon, I think you need a Halloween costume this year. You're smoking good barbecue. Yeah.
Oh, yes, the smoking good barbecue. Yes.
You need a costume. You need a costume for that. I want to see it.
Well, I have a chicken costume over here. I don't know if it's good enough for that, but
well,
that's
you still
what
have time. It's not Halloween.
I dress up as a hot dog for
a
Halloween.
hot dog. We get some good hot dogs out of smoking good barbecue. Yeah.
Frankie, what about Vampire Zorktron?
I mean, he will be back.
Part vampire, part Zorktron.
What the heck is a Zorktron? Never heard of Zorktron.
I'm the captain of the ship now.
Oh,
Hauk is taking over.
He's going down with the ship.
I'll be right back.
We have a couple extra minutes. We got 3 extra minutes tonight of time
3 extra minutes of dressing up. So that's what we're doing is playing dress up.
Oh,
there he goes.
And Trey
falling to Earth just like a comet, just like Zorktron.
I'm gonna dress up as a bicycle safety person for Halloween.
When you put that bicycle helmet on, make sure you put it on before you fall.
I think that was perfect timing too. I was getting a bike helmet.
Like, it doesn't do you much good if it's in your hands. Well, it might protect your hands.
Right, yeah. Protect it from scrapes,
It was just perfect timing how that all happened.
Well, I don't think I had mentioned my top weather story for Manitoba in 2024 this summer.
You had a tornado that you saw.
Maybe possible tornado.
But you maybe saw it.
I think the main story for me was back in the middle of June. The big storm that came into southeastern Saskatchewan, southwestern Manitoba. I was chasing down Pearson, and it was just hauling. It was moving like 120, 130 kilometers an hour. And so, I mean, I chased it up to Pearson, and then it chased me all the way back to Brandon. I may have been going a little over the speed limit, but regardless. And then the very next day, like, it dropped a ton of rain in the southwestern Manitoba area around Brandon. And then the next day, like, the wind was so strong on the backside of that storm and the low pressure system that remember that big dust storm? Like, it was just crazy dust storm south of Brandon the next day. And we're talking about how fast the topsoil can dry out. Like, I think that was the biggest story for me, is seeing like this monster shelf cloud dropping tons of rain. And then not even 10, 12 hours later, like, a dust storm couldn't even see like 200 meters down the road. Like, that was just a crazy 24 hours.
Well, that means there's some dry enough air to really suck the moisture out too, right? Like low humidity.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, definitely. Okay, we do have one more question from the comments there. I hear, Frankie, that Halloween has been changed. The date for Halloween this year is now going to be on October 32nd.
There, October 31st. That means October 31st is Halloween.
You sure it's on October 36th this year?
October 31st.
Okay.
There's no such thing as October 32nd.
No such thing as October 32nd in this dimension, you mean?
Oh, by the way, Halloween falls on a Thursday night this year.
Yeah.
Thursday, the 32nd of October.
My top story also, I think at the very top of my list, was almost getting a tornado on my street. Like, we had a rotating wall cloud coming through North Winnipeg. There's some people that posted a wall cloud rotating. And I was like, is this going to be it? And I'm so glad it didn't drop anything because we were not prepared. No one around me was prepared.
You didn't have your helmet
I've never
on.
seen
There's no
anything
such
like
thing
that.
as October 33rd either.
No such thing as October 33rd or 35th or 47th.
Or October 100th.
Okay, Frankie, how do people find you on the internet?
If you want to follow me on social media, my blue skies at Frankie McD. My Twitter's now X is Frankie McD at Frankie McD. My link tree is Frankie McDonald. My Facebook is Frankie McDonald. My Instagram is Frankie MacD924. My TikTok is FrankDo924. My Clapper is FrankDo924. My Twitch is FrankDo924. My Snapchat is FrankMECDON. My YouTube channel Stock Removes and my LinkedIn's Frankie. Best luck to you. I'm Frankie. You're listening to Comedeorological Weather Report every Thursday nights at 7 p.m. Pacific, 11 p.m. Atlantic. Have a great day. That's the show.
That's the show. You've been listening to us on C for 88.7 FM, CKUW 95.9, CFBX 925, and Rogers Television Outlets. I'm Joey Only, your host.
And
Weather dude.
An angry St. Bernard barking at the mail and go, "Rrr, rrr, 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 rrr."
There you go.
That's the show.
That's the show.
That's the show.
That's the show, Shaggy.
That's the show.
That's the show, Raggy. There we go.
So,
That's
How
the
it's
show,
done.
Frankie. Okay, that's the show.
That's the show. That's my SpongeBob voice.
It's not. It's the live stream's still going. There goes Frankie, though. Need to say goodbye to Frankie before.
Yeah,
because then
he's
just
out.
Gone.
Gone.
He's just gone.
Donkey Kong.
Gone
Yeah.
like Donkey Kong.
Yeah, there we go.
Like Kool-Aid Man.
I just wanted to let you guys know I'm okay. When I fell, I didn't hurt my hand or anything. I was
That
just
was
rushing.
perfect for a comedy show. That was great.
Yeah, it would have been way more funny if
Yeah.
there was injuries, right? So work on that. Work on really hurting when you fall.
Yeah, I don't want to wait 6 hours in a Winnipeg emergency ward. Thank you very much.
6
Just-
hours, I double.
Or just fake it.
I'll come on next week with a cast on my arm,
You know,
with
nothing
that
wrong with
toilet
faking it,
paper on my arm.
you
I was
know,
just
like,
laughing. I saw something funny. Apparently, they got fighter robots now cooking and doing human tasks, and it's hilarious to watch. There's a Facebook post of it. I'll probably share it to the group, but I think with the whole AI thing overtaking the weather, I think it's possible might have robots somehow controlling our future at some point or another, taking over certain jobs.
hey,
Well, I mean, it's
fucking
already
roughly
happened.
Control my shit.
What's crazy is you go to Wendy's or whatever. I think it's mainly stateside still, but it's like you're going and you're talking to Siri. It's like you got the screen with the menu, and you're not talking to a human anymore. It's like AI. It's crazy.
Why would you go to Wendy's though?
Well, I don't know. Mark's not here. Apparently, Mark really likes Wendy's.
Yeah. I like Wendy's.
And
What?
Brandon.
Like, why?
So she has red hair. No?
It's not a reason. You know what happened in Kamloops today?
Oh,
Was the
but-
Red Bridge burned. Someone burned the Red Bridge down.
Oh,
in
yeah. I
Kamloops.
saw that. Yeah. By the
That's
way,
Terrible.
speaking of Wendy's, for the future, all the burger products are coming right from Brooks here. So just so you know.
Hey, that's pretty cool.
Oh, yeah. All of Western Canada, pretty much.
Oh wow.
So,
Maybe there's a job opportunity there for you, Brandon.
yeah. The JBS Canada.
I mean,
Center.
I saw like in the pre-show you eating the burgers, like you weren't the best at that, but maybe if you make the burgers, that might be a little better.
Oh, yes. Oh, yes. So, yes, the A&W Crunch
Yeah.
Burger with the chips on it.
Was that
No,
it? It looked
no.
like McDonald's. Joey said it was from McDonald's.
Oh, this
I
was from
showing something
A&W.
else to-
And then
was
I
showing
had
something
McDonald's
else.
last week.
Oh,
No. Justin is correct.
yeah.
I can't, about what I showed, I just can't find it right now.
Yeah.
to show
Oh,
you.
yes.
I mean, you were chowing down, man.
Oh, yes, I was.
Yeah. I was kind of jealous, like, man, I could go for a few McDonald's burgers right about now.
This must have been the golden.
I had
Brooks,
Burger King.
Alberta.
Oh,
We're gathered here today for a wonderful activity, the hamburger eating
these
contest.
guys-
He's got 5. He's got a double whammy. He stacked them.
Brandon eats 1.5. They have 30 minutes, and Brandon eats
Brandon's
1.
on his.
actually, we only had 5 minutes.
35. There you go.
That's so awesome at a burger eating contest. Like you always see the hot dog one, but like a burger one would be.
10 seconds.
That was like a good burger, but like that's McDonald's. That's not like it's not real meat.
Please come in and inspect.
It's like shredded up cardboard congealed with egg.
And you can tell it's an old McDonald's because most of them are going away from having the play place there.
Oh
Yeah, they got rid of the play place in Quesnel.
Yeah, same with Brandon on Highway 1.
Same thing with Burger King. There was a Burger King on Main Street here that had a play place. They recently renovated, got rid of it. Now there's no play place in there. I went in there the other day. I'm like, this place is empty now. And Burger King doesn't really have. I mean, their burgers are meh. Wendy's and McDonald's are better.
I mean, honestly, like it sucks for the kids, but I mean, those things were like cesspool of germs. Like,
Oh yeah.
yeah,
Oh, that's right. That's how COVID got everywhere.
it's because of those McDonald's play places. That's
'Cause
why.
of- Because of children.
Because of kids. Yeah,
Yeah.
it
Luckily,
wasn't Wuhan after all.
Luckily, we did the burger eating contest before the kids got into play place, so we were.
So there wasn't as many boogers. There were some boogers, but not as many.
Not as many. Yes.
Yes, and I just realized I forgot to mention our weather outlook for the next couple of days next week. And I saw it looks like it's going to heat up a little bit more towards the end of the week, maybe low to mid 20s, and then cool off back into the teens, and then more fall like weather. That's what I saw.
Ooh. Got some storms going through there, Joey.
Just a bit of rain. Just
Some
rain.
moderate rain there. Some oranges showing up.
Yeah, it's pouring outside right now.
Hey, in about a month it'll be snow.
Yeah, but
And don't remind me. I don't like
even
that.
less possibly for Wells, right?
No swearing on here. The S words.
Hey, I love snow. Anybody knows me? I'm a big winter fan.
Oh, yeah,
Colorado lows to rip up.
So that's true. I can swear all I want when we're not doing TV.
Yeah.
Well, some areas in the mountains, up in I say
I don't
the
know how to
Icefields
change
Parkway
that
might
now,
get a little bit higher elevations tonight and tomorrow. Yeah.
Yeah, it was looking like it. So I don't know how to. I don't know. I made like a big line.
Big
and
O.
I can't make it go away now. So
Gotta
but
click on the draw button again. Might disappear.
I did, but it just makes
there
it
it
draw
goes.
more. See, but up in Rogers Pass right now, there's some more thunderstorm activity going on there as well. So I'm just gonna close this, and then maybe that'll be fun. Good. Closed. But yes, raining right now in Wells. It's lovely. I need to make some food very soon.
Do you think the La Nina is gonna? Wait. Sorry, I'll rephrase that. I think the La Nina this year is gonna increase our chances for snowstorms, but I want to ask you guys to make a bet. How much snow do you think each province is gonna get?
I mean, that's a really broad question. I mean,
Yeah, I don't know.
province. I mean, where?
Like Calgary, Edmonton, Regina, Winnipeg.
How much?
I think
snow
Winnipeg's
will,
probably gonna get like 300 centimeters.
How much snow would Osoyoos get? You know, how much snow will Wells get? Here in Wells, we'll get a lot.
That's pretty cool, man. All that live weather data. That's awesome.
Isn't this
I
neat?
got to get me a station going.
Yeah, I think we all do now. It's like
Yeah.
I had no idea when I bought this thing that it did this stuff.
That's awesome. Yeah.
It's not begun to show precipitation.
I'm just worried about someone climbing on top of our roof, taking it. I'm on Salter Street.
Winnipeg.
Right.
Winnipeg.
Wake up in the morning and all my weather data is gone. I'm like, why is it taking info anymore?
It's just reading like the inside of some crack shack.
Honestly, though, like I think it's going to be a slow start to winter. Like on the Eastern Prairies, I think October into November, it's not going to be a lot of snow. But then once we get Christmas and past Christmas into January, February, March, then that's when we're going to see the winter storms really ramp up. I think it'll be a slow start, and then it'll get going once that polar vortex really starts breaking down and coming southward.
Had a nice gradual cooling off day by day here, eh?
Oh, I'm gonna get going, guys. I've had a night.
Fair
All right.
enough. Fair enough. I'm really super hungry, actually, so I'm gonna have to do
Hey,
something.
hey, Joey, you've had some pretty good frost up there already. Hey, you've been like -2 low one night.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
for sure.
that's good.
That's entirely normal. I mean,
Yeah.
I might get my first frost Saturday morning. Yeah,
Okay. Yeah.
might get close to the freezing mark there with that. Only a high of
Oh,
12 tomorrow.
birthday is coming up on the 23rd.
How old are you gonna be?
29.
29
Ooh,
again. Oh yeah,
29 again.
29.
I thought it was 17 again.
Oh yeah, 17 again.
I actually have my wood stove going tonight too. You can tell because you can hear the leaking roof. There it goes.
Oh yeah,
That's
Here.
cool. Nice.
Watch
I don't
again.
have any heat on right now.
Our
Yeah.
air conditioner is still on.
I was going to say I've still had the AC going.
You have to understand the Wells is at 3,935
Oh, yeah.
feet above sea level, and it's mountain cold here a lot, like a lot. And if
Well,
we get
you
I
love taking
35 feet
pictures
of
of
snow.
I love taking pictures of snow, so I got to come up and visit you, Joey. Yeah, you get snowflakes a lot earlier than Brandon, Manitoba does.
Man, if you want to see some snow, like
Yeah.
I've been in some winters on snowmobile up at the top of the mountain or skiing, whatever, and I'm going by these baby pine trees or baby spruce trees, all these little baby trees.
Yeah.
And then I go up there in the springtime or the summertime on a quad or hiking or whatever, and those baby trees are 25 feet fucking tall.
That's crazy.
That's what it's like in the mountains in the winter, right?
Like over here, like a big snowstorm would be 2 or 3 feet.
Yeah, well, the thing is, when you get a snowstorm, you get like a snowstorm.
It is. Yeah.
Right? Whereas we get like weeks of it's still kind of snowing out all day. Oh, look, it's really big flakes now. Now it's really small flakes. Now it's really big flakes.
Here it's the
mom-
wind. The wind
nothing.
really, that northwest wind causing blizzard, like closing Highway 1. Like the better bet would be how many times is Highway 1 going to be closed this winter? Because the trend has been going upward, I think, over the last few years.
Highway 101 too, like the perimeter highway's been shut down. People complaining about that too.
Yeah. But it has to happen because the conditions are brutal. Like Highway 75 and Highway 10 south of Brandon too. Like I think between Portage and Eli is just really bad. And then west between like Oak Lake and Verdon is just terrible.
Here it's just like the steady, continuous snowing when you get into that pattern, right? It's not like you get up in the morning and you go and you brush 15, 20 centimeters of this really light powder off the vehicle and put it in four-wheel drive to get to the road, and then out you go. It's
and away you go. Yeah.
It's not like it's not like where you have 120 kilometer-an-hour winds and drifts and like how Manitoba, Saskatchewan storms can be. So not only do I have the weather station.
My mom was telling me that we haven't had a snowstorm like the blizzard of 1982 or 97 here in Winnipeg for a while. My mom thinks we're overdue for one. And she said, your generation hasn't seen anything like it.
Hoke's about to call it. He's gone already. I was going to.
All right.
Well, the last thing I was going to show you. So I got the weather station. I've also got like a thing outside that spins in the wind. That's like
nice.
Kind of my art. And so of course I got the stove that sizzles when it's the roof's leaking. But also, I don't know if you've ever seen this stuff, but up here is about 85 Star Wars ships of all different sizes up to the very top. It's very high up there. The roof is quite high up, so you got the tiny ones at the very top and the big ones at the bottom.
Wow.
What happens is when the wood stove's going, especially when it's really going in the wintertime and it's cold in the house and the wood stove gets really going, is all the ships spin from the convection of the rising air, right? So it's like
that's neat. That's really cool. Awesome.
When the stove's really rocking, they're all spinning.
When the ships are rocking, don't come knocking.
Yeah, exactly, eh? And so if they're really, really spinning, I'm sitting down here, I'm like looking up, I'm like, oh, I better be careful that I don't make it so it's impossible to sleep upstairs tonight.
Yeah.
But anyways, that's
Cool.
just a little
Thanks
bit
for
of-
having us on, Joey.
You're
Yeah.
welcome, buddy.
You're awesome as always. I'm gonna bring in some jokes next week. See if I can find some funny weather jokes. I've got a couple from back when, so we'll make it fun next week.
I'm gonna try my hardest to have a joke next week. I've been working all year on having, one or two of them. If you're still watching us on the live stream, thanks for joining us, everybody. Really appreciate it. Make sure you hit like, share, and subscribe. Hey, Gary, good to see you out there, and maybe we'll catch up next time down at 100 Mile House, buddy. Haven't seen you in a while, so good to see you. In fact, I feel like playing music again, Gary. So maybe you'll see me sooner than later with the guitar in my hand down there playing. I want to book some shows. I'm gonna get a band going again. You'll see. You'll see. You'll see. Matt Lee just moved to town. Dude's a tattoo artist and a double bass player. Plays rockabilly double bass. Old buddy of mine. He's awesome. And it's like it's time to get a band going. It's gonna happen. Okay, that's me.